I want to talk to you about music. In the beginning, man created the beat. And the beat was good. As music developed, people from all around would gather to hear wandering minstrels play their funky music. And for hundreds and hundreds of years, live was the only way to listen to music. However, over the last 100 years or so, technology gathered pace, and a number of ways to listen to music grew and grew.
But everything that went before is nothing compared to the last 10 years. Back in 2000, people went to things called shops and exchanged cash for music by recording artists such as All Saints, Craig David and Steps, but no more. That's because some clever Germans developed a way to compress music and turn the world on its head with a fancy new file format.
Then I got my first MP3 player, which was an Arcos. It was quite big and bulky and limited on the display and the amount of music it held, but it was a step forward.
I've still got my first MP3 player. I still carry it around, my massive iPod. That's a bit like a brick, actually.
It is actually called my first MP3 player. It's Fisher-Price.
It was actually Apple that tuned us all into MP3 players when they launched the incredibly successful iPod in 2001.
I remember at the time, a friend of mine put me a load of, something like, he put 50 CDs on there, and I would just sort of look, how do you get them in and everything else? But you just take it for granted nowadays.
There's just nothing better than having all of your favourite songs on tap any time of day. So I don't know what I did before my iPod came along.
And I found my first iPod the other day, and my goodness, it's not aged well. It looks like something from the 1940s. Now it's clunky and weird. It didn't even have the proper touch wheel thing. It was just buttons everywhere and a green screen. But, you know, it changed my life. It meant that I could have music on the go.
Since then, there have been 6 different classics and loads of minis, nanos, shuffles and touches. And by 2009, 220 million iPods had been sold worldwide. What the iPod and other MP3 players have done is enable a near constant soundtrack to everyday life, with your entire music collection available at all times. And the rise of music on the go has meant a rise in demand for an ever-varying range of earphones and headphones. In-ear, over-the-ear, bigger bass, more treble, control on the wires and wireless. The last 10 years have been headphone crazy.
Yeah, I'll tell you a funny thing about having headphones. When I get on the plane, I don't want to talk to anybody, even if I haven't got, you know, an iPod or anything else. I just put my headphones on and put the string in my pocket or in my bag, and people think I'm playing, so that I can go to sleep and not having, you know, especially if you're sitting next to someone you don't want to talk to. So it comes in handy for that.
But the most important headphones of the last decade are the Bose Quiet Comfort series. These... Microphones in the ear cups monitor background noise and play out a signal. But it's the internet that has revolutionized how we listen to music this decade. In 2005, downloads from sites like iTunes and Napster outsold physical tracks for the first time. And in 2009, 98% of singles were bought online. Plus, new websites like MySpace have given an audience to over 8 million new musicians. But the internet revolution didn't stop there. And in 2009, the way we listen to music changed again, before our very ears. Streaming music instead of downloading had become widespread, and websites like Spotify were instantly bringing music to the people for free. So there you have it. You can see how monumental this decade has been for music technology. From headphones to iPods to music streaming, we put our 10 favourite music gadgets of the decade to the public vote. And all over the land, you've been voting in your thousands. But what has been the best music gadget of the decade? Well, tech heads of the world, you have decided.
It's Johnny. Thank you. And I've already opened the envelope here because I'm sure the result isn't going to be a shock to anybody. In fact, I think it qualifies as the most predictable result this evening. Yes, the winner of the Gadget Show's Music Gadget of the Decade is, and I'm going to leave a pause for dramatic effect here, even though we know it's the iPod, the iPod!
We love you, iPod!
Launched in 2001, it's now sold over 220 million in its various forms. It's introduced concepts like the MP3 player and music downloading to the Western world, and it's always completely dominated its market.